Hey everybody, welcome to day 6. Today's an optional day. There was a long route, there was a short route, and there was a Brent route. Brent decided he was going to go on the North Coast Inland Trail, which is the same trail that I ride back in Oberlin, but I rode the section from Terra State, which is Fremont, all the way back over to Genoa. Which ended up being a 37-mile day. So had a great ride. One of the other people who was here heard me say that I was going to be riding the trail, and they said, "That sounds cool. Can we go with you?" And Jim went with me, and so we did a 37-mile day. Had a tree down and had to carry our bikes through the trees. Makes it interesting. But other than that, it was uneventful. Very nice ride through. The nice thing was there was not a lot of wind compared to yesterday. So that wind yesterday was a killer on the legs. So it was nice to have a 37-mile day today without having a headwind most of the way. So that was my bike ride. I came back, I got a drink, and I'm now waiting for the shuttle to go on a tour, and I'll share more about the tour when I go. Talk to you later. So our tour today is the Jail and Dungeons tour here in Sandusky County. The jail was built in 1890s. Rutherford B. Hayes actually helped lay the cornerstone of this building. It's a beautiful building, beautiful woodwork, but it's the woodwork is all butternut, and we're going to be doing a tour of the jail.
For them to realize that they needed to add onto that, you need something more, because you would have had prisoners that were trying to jump over or take the sheriff deputy over or whatever. So they put this up so that wasn't quite so easy to do.
Yes.
Anything else you want me to talk about up here?
Nope, I think we're just going to wander in the cells.
Okay.
But is come on in. Come all the way in. You can take a picture. Get all back together. Remember I told you there were several reasons they needed to get out of here?
This is a picture of the outside of the jail. Beautiful old building. This was actually the home of the sheriff, and then the jail is in the back. So the family of the sheriff would actually take care of, with the deputies being there as well. The family would help feed and take care of the prisoners. So we're heading down the stairs to the dungeon, and I'll share the dungeon with you when we get down there. So we're going into the dungeon. This was used before the jail upstairs, 1840s, 1890s.
Take him down the hall. Keep him there for a while.
Okay, yeah. It's uneven right here. Be careful. Yep. It's uneven right here, so be careful. Yep. It's uneven here.
What is that?
And you're just going to have to duck. Don't hit your head, it really hurts.
You see the
What
little
is
grates?
the little room back there with the window?
It's identical to what we're going to see here.
Okay.
So they have two different sides to the dungeon. There's a uneven right here, so be careful, please.
We'll see this, honey.
What's that?
We're tripping. We'll see this, honey.
Yeah, please don't. Please just be careful. And when you duck, you're going to have to duck for a little while because that's a big threshold. Oh, over at what leg? Oh, you can take a picture. Yeah. It's a neat down here.
Let's see how it works.
Yeah, that's why they said there's
The party lights.
That's so you duck and see.
Where's my photographer, Jared?
He's back here.
Jerry!
Okay. So, do you feel like you're in a dungeon?
How
Do you feel like it's 1840? We actually have it pretty nice down here because there's windows cut in. Back in 1842 when we started using this as our jail, and by the way, this was our only jail in the county for about 10 years. These windows would not have been cut in.
Okay.
So the only lights that you would have had would have been either a candle or a lantern. And some of the cells, when you look up on the ceiling, you can see letters and names that were burned in with soot from a candle. So that's kind of cool. But it was, when you were in here, you were just in here. The only time that you really got out is if you were able to, like good behavior, and you were able to empty the slop jars, because there were no bathrooms, you had slop jars that you were using. So just stop and you would have a couple people per cell. So just imagine it's a typical meal down here. Brenda kind of referenced it. It would have been bread and water and maybe a simple meal of some kind. Now, if you had a loved one on the outside that wanted to, they could bring you one meal a day. So that helped the county because they didn't have to pay for so many meals.
So this was solitary confinement. It is less than 3 feet wide, and there's no room in there, just enough room to lay on the floor. I mean, when I walk through, my shoulders rub on both sides of the door, and then it opens up maybe 6 inches beyond that. So we're on the top floor of the Sandusky County Courthouse at this point.
Let me know when we got
Legal
everybody.
files.
Turn the air on. We're here.
No, just good thing I brought it. Okay, so you are now in the gallows exhibition area. These file cabinets back here, they date back to 1842. I will go ahead and pass this around. These are what the records look like. And just kind of look through it. They're supposed to be putting all of this, scanning all of these in. Don't know when or if that's ever going to happen. What you will see on the easels back here, that's one of the courthouses and jails that we used to have. So on the right, you'll see pictures of what they looked like. Those buildings actually still exist. A couple, like a block east of here, you would see there's an Elks Lodge. Behind that, like by the parking lot area, those buildings still exist. They've been stuccoed over, but you can still see the 2 chimneys. So kind of cool that those have remained. That is railing from the 1960s that used to be in the courthouse. That was before one of the renovations. Like we said, that jail area was redone, the jail area, the commissioner's office, that was redone back in 2003. And this is some of the artifacts that they found while they were doing the excavation, digging. Some neat things. There's some hinges. There's handcuffs. There's doorknobs. There's glass. You'll see some broken glass. Some bottles. Just interesting things. And if you want to walk this way, this wooden table here was one of them that would have been in the 1900s jail that we were just in. And you'll notice there's carvings on there. We always say we're not responsible for what's carved. One of the stories that you see, there was a woman that had gotten pregnant, and her boyfriend wasn't going to marry her. And he was going to be arrested because of that. Back then, bastardism was illegal. So the sheriff gave him the option, either you marry your girlfriend or you go to jail. Well, they got married in short order. So this is the last gallows that were used for public hangings here in the county. We had 3 public hangings in the course of our county. Our county was founded in 1820. So this was actually made for another resident or prisoner that ended up not getting hanged. He ended up with life in jail. But John Radford, age 30, Bellevue, Ohio. Bellevue is about 20 miles east of here. So John was married to a lady named Anna, and they had a couple children. He heard rumors that she was going to leave him, take the children and leave him. He went to the sheriff's office and found out that his wife, in fact, had filed for divorce. Now this is 1882, so that didn't happen very often. Had been she had filed for divorce. He had always told her, if you ever leave me, there's going to be consequences. So he rushed back home to his home in Bellevue. She was not around. So he ended up going to Green Springs, which was a couple towns further west of Bellevue. Went to Green Springs, found his wife at her mom and dad's house. They had locked themselves in the house. She and her children and her mother were in the upstairs bedroom hiding. He broke down the door, broke in, found Anna, grabbed her by the hair, drug her down the stairs, and ended up taking her out into the garden. He shot her first time in the wrist, second time point blank in the temples, and killed her. So he ran then and stopped at a farmer's house and said, I just did a terrible thing. He was asking for water. I just did a terrible thing. I just killed my wife. Well, of course, the farmer calls the sheriff and says this guy is, heading whatever direction. So he's arrested. He denies that he murdered her. He said that his mother-in-law came after him with a garden rake and it was self-defense. So he has his day in court. He's admitted to jail November 4th, 1882. He was sentenced to be hanged. That took place. Now look at that. You've got November of 82. He was hanged by October of 83. So not even a year later. I mean, that's quick justice. So this would have been out in our courtyard area here. There would have been steps that took him up. Of course, this would have been closed. So he would have been up there. The sheriff would have been up there. They would have put a bag over his head, the noose around his neck, asked if he had any last words. He maintained his innocence, but before they put that bag over his head, he saw his father-in-law out in the audience because this was a big thing. Public hangings were big things. People came from all over. This was actually covered in the New York news. So he sees his father-in-law, and he goes berserk, and he said, if you would have been there at the same time, I would have killed you too. Well, that's kind of an admission right there. Anyway, they escorted the father-in-law out. He apologized for his outrage. They put the hood over him, put the noose around him, pulled the lever, and it was a clean hanging. He was dead very quickly. But what they did back in 1883 is if there was a public hanging, they would take your body, put it in a wooden coffin, and put it out on the courthouse steps. For 3 days he was out there for people to see that if you commit murder in Sandusky County, this is what happens to you. So Brenda had mentioned that the courthouse has been built onto several different times. What you see here looks very unusual, but this is actually the exterior of the original courthouse. There's a picture of it right there. This is the roof. You see where this kind of jets out. That's where the bell was. The cupola, and we've got a bell. The bell would have been used for public alerts if there was something that they needed to alert the community about. So when this renovation took place, this now became the center right here. This became the center of the courthouse. And the only time we ring this bell is when we have public jail tours.
Nice.
So we'll bring Boy Scout groups in here or little kid groups and we'll ask them if they want to ring the bell.
Yes.
And these little kids will try to ring it, and if they are able to get it, it lifts them off their feet. Come on, use your muscles. There you go. One more. One more. There you go.
Man, you made it look so effortless.
It's my muscles.
Yes.
So we're going to go through the tunnel that connects the courthouse to the jail and the sheriff's house.
I thought it was going to be like there.
Ooh, now we walk through the tunnel. All right, good.